Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So today I wanted to talk about something that I've been thinking about quite a lot lately, and I'd love to know if it's been on your mind too. There's a lot of people out there, experts, commentators, etc., who are suggesting we could see further lockdowns ahead. Now, on the other hand, there are some that completely disagree with that and think it's so soon after what we've already been through in 2020. But what most people do seem to agree on is this, that petrol and diesel prices could become something else entirely, either reserved for key workers or simply pricing ordinary families out of everyday travel. And if that happens, if we find ourselves walking more, cycling more, staying closer to home, and then there's one place that becomes more important to us than almost anywhere else, and that's our gardens. And you can see here Mr. W has already made a start on our garden bench. He's applying a wood preserver, which is slightly different to paint. It's designed to sink right into the wood, protecting it from moisture and rot from the inside out. Rather than just sitting on the surface, it soaks in. This bench has been with us for a good few years now, and with a bit of regular care, there's no reason it can't last many more. Because if we're thinking ahead, thinking about spring and summer, and where the garden might become our main social space, our growing space, our breathing space, and then somewhere comfortable to actually sit does matter. You don't need a new bench. You can look after it the best you can. That is slow living in a nutshell. Which brings me to what I'd call today's theme, building survival. Now that phrase simply means looking after the structures you already have, so they last, so they serve you, so they're there when you need them most. Think back to lockdown. The garden wasn't just a nice thing to have. It was everything. Fresh air, a cup of tea in the sunshine, somewhere to grow things and feel like the world hadn't completely fallen apart. And I think whatever comes next, we're wise to treat our outdoor space as something worth investing in. Not necessarily with money, but with time and care and attention. So today Mr. W is going to join me on the trellis, and between us we're going to get it done. So here we are. This is our trellis fence, 6 foot by 6 foot, and it really has been waiting for this. You can see the wood has dried right out over the winter, and a good coat of this black paint is exactly what it needs. Mr. W is working from his end, and I'm working from mine, which is honestly the best way to tackle something like this, isn't it? Many hands and all that. Now, the trellis is quite an open weave, so I'm just working the brush right into the gaps in the panels. It's a meditative sort of job, very satisfying to watch it come together. How about you? Do you have a fence, a trellis, any garden structure that's been sitting there waiting for a bit of attention this spring? Tell me in the comments. I'd genuinely love to know. It might be something that I should be doing. Now we're just talking about we should have a brew, and Mr. Wallflowers is joking along saying, oh, that's another rule they've changed. The workers aren't allowed to have brews anymore. We've just got to get the job complete. My mouth is dry. I can smell the paint, the fresh air, and I'm trying to convince them a brew would be lovely. I'll carry on painting. You can have a little break. He's teasing me, but this is the kind of thing we do. He wants to do his share of the painting too. Yeah, hey, agreed. It's brew time. So he's headed out to put the kettle on for both of us, which feels like very good timing actually, because there's something very right about stopping for a brew when you're about a third of a way through a job like this. We take a quick break when he returns, and then we get straight back to it. I'll carry on painting the fence. I can hear him singing. I can hear the birds singing. I can hear the neighbours chatting. One lady's on the phone in her garden. I can hear her chatting. It's just a nice feeling being in the garden. It's just a completely different space. And bit by bit, we'll change that space and we'll make it our little luxury. We've come up with plans, different things we want to do this year in the garden. And it's not about planting this year. We concentrated a lot on that last year. This year, we're looking primarily at structures, paving, and different things to help this garden grow with us over the years, and also for many summers like this, many occasions where we may not have petrol to drive, opportunities to leave home, but we can enjoy it. And here he is, look at that. There are few things more welcome on a spring afternoon than someone walking towards you with a hot brew. I'll say we did have a quick break and then we got straight back to it. Right then, refreshed, warmed up and back to it. This is what I love about a job like this. It's not a race. You work, you stop, you have a brew and you carry on. That's a perfectly good afternoon to me. And this is where I find myself thinking again about the bigger picture, because we hear a lot about preparedness, storing food, cutting costs, watching the budget, and all of that matters, but there's a kind of preparedness that doesn't get talked about quite as much, and it's this, the preparedness of place, of having somewhere that works for you, somewhere that feeds you, shelters you and restores you. Spring and summer in a well-tended garden, that isn't a luxury, that's a resource. Food you've grown yourself, air that hasn't cost you anything, evenings outside without needing to go anywhere or spend anything. And the people who'll feel that the most deeply are the ones who started looking after it before they needed it. We've decided it's tea time and we're hungry. So Mr. W is just heading in now. We've decided to have scampi and chips, and I think the fish is calling him. So it's just me for the final stretch, which I'm quite happy about actually. There's something lovely about finishing a job like this in your own time, in the quiet of your own garden. Just me and the paintbrush now. You know, this right here, this is what building survival looks like. It's not dramatic. It's not complicated. It's an afternoon, a tin of paint, and the decision to look after what you have. Between the wood preserver and the bench paint, between the wood preserver for the bench and the paint for this trellis, we've probably spent about £50 today. And in return, we've protected two structures that are going to serve us beautifully all the way through spring and summer. And there's lots of preserver left for other structures. There's lots of paint left for the other panels. That's time and money well spent. As I say, I'm enjoying this. The little bit of exercise. This is like a day off to me. It's a day off from the running round that I'm normally doing day to day. I've had this day to just relax and stay home. Just relax and be in the garden. Just relax and think about what we've got, how we want to enjoy it, how we want it to look, and what we can do to prepare it that way. I'm imagining Mr. Wallflowers is going to call me in for food shortly, and I'm trying my best to race ahead and get as much of this fence done as I possibly can. I know I probably won't finish it. I know he'll call me in soon because I can smell that food. I can smell the vinegar on the chips. But I'm trying to eke out the last couple of minutes and get as much done as I possibly can. I'm hoping the weather for tomorrow may hold out so I can come back out and do some more. But hey, let's not ruin it by thinking what the English weather might do tomorrow. Let's just do what we can now and enjoy what we've done so far. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. Please take care. Remember you're loved, and know the world is a better place with you in it. Bye, love.